Imagine this. You're walking down the neon-lit streets of Los Angeles, iced matcha in hand, when suddenly you overhear a heated but wholesome debate outside a K-pop cafe. A group of passionate American armies are gathered around a table, phones in hand, laughter echoing down the sidewalk. But they're not discussing the latest comeback or streaming records. No. Tonight's topic is far more personal. Who's the kindest BTS member? One asks. Wait, but who's the most chaotic in a good way? Another chimes in. And then the kicker. Let's rank them, based on personality only. Boom, the table erupts. And just like that, the great American BTS personality ranking was born. This isn't about vocals. This isn't about visuals. This is about vibes, energy, the stuff that sticks with you after watching hundreds of interviews, run, BTS episodes, and chaotic live streams. It's about how Americans who grew up with different cultural norms interpret the subtle but powerful nuances of the 7 extraordinary souls that make up BTS. What makes them feel connected to one member over another? What behaviors made them laugh, cry, or simply go, damn, that's real? So we did the digging. We scrolled through fan forums, translated TikTok rants, sat through Reddit debates that could rival UN summits, and watched hours of reaction videos. From New York to Nebraska, Miami to Seattle, we've compiled the ultimate edutainment experience, how Americans ranked BTS members based solely on their personality. And trust us, some of the answers will blow your mind. But before we dive in, think about this for a second. What does it even mean to be the most likable? Is it about how open someone is in front of a camera? Is it the goofy energy that lightens every room? Or the quiet strength that silently carries a group? And how much does American culture, individualism, expression, emotional openness influence how fans perceive these South Korean superstars? Here's the twist. Not every American fan thinks alike. While one might adore a member for being soft-spoken and polite, another might be obsessed with the guy who throws water bottles across the stage and laughs like a villain. And that's what makes this list not just entertaining but deeply human. It's a reflection of how BTS connects across oceans, languages, and perspectives. So buckle up. Whether you're a new fan or a seasoned army, you're about to see BTS through the eyes of a different world. And we guarantee, once you hear why each member ended up where they did, you'll never watch a Group V live the same way again. Now, who do you think made it to the top? The reliable Hyung? The golden maknae? The sunshine dancer with the honey voice? Let's find out. Number 7. Quiet Thunder, Phi. To say Taehyung or V is just the mysterious one in BTS is like saying New York is just a city. There's a whole damn universe beneath that sculpted jawline and slow blinks. But to many American fans, V is a bit of a paradox. He's captivating, yes. His charisma is undeniable. His visuals? Unreal. But when it comes to personality, something interesting happens. A divide. While his global fanbase hails him as the Gucci King, artsy boyfriend material, and the member who looks like he walked out of a European film, a significant portion of US armies rank him a bit lower, not because he lacks charm, but because they just can't figure him out. In Western fan culture, especially in the US, openness is often equated with trust. Americans are used to reading celebrities who overshare, who go on talk shows and spill their childhood traumas like it's Tuesday brunch. V, on the other hand, is elusive. He'll be the loudest in one clip, bursting into song or wrestling with Jungkook. Then, in another, he's silent, staring into the distance like he's composing a jazz solo in his mind. This duality, it's fascinating, but for some American fans, it's hard to crack emotionally. Taehyung feels like that cool art student you want to talk to in class, but you're too intimidated to even sit near, one fan on TikTok explained. I adore him, but I also feel like he lives on a different frequency than me. And that's the thing, V doesn't perform his personality for the crowd. He invites you in when he wants to. He guards his inner world like a museum closed for renovations, and every once in a while, he opens a window and lets the wind blow in. That's when we get those rare glimpses. The time he comforted Jimin backstage without a single word, just a shoulder nudge. The way he always defends Yeontan like he's his own child. The moments he talks about his late grandmother, and his voice cracks, but he keeps smiling. That quiet thunder, that intensity, it stays with you. Let's not forget the iconic moments that sent shockwaves through the fandom, when he dropped scenery on SoundCloud and half the internet cried. When he took photos of clouds and abandoned chairs and posted them with no context, making everyone wonder if he's a time traveler from the 1920 seconds. And then, of course, the V-Min moments, how he clings to Jimin like a sleepy cat, whispering things off mic that fans analyze like sacred texts. But here's the nuance. While V ranks 7th in this personality-based list, that doesn't mean he's less loved. If anything, the mystery adds to his cult-like appeal. The fans who get him, they ride or die for him. They make video essays analyzing his laugh. They dress like him. They breathe like him. But in terms of wide American relatability, the kind that earns you life of the party, votes, or guy you want to hug after a bad day, Badges Taehyung's reserved, introspective aura sets him apart in a different way. And maybe that's exactly what he wants. As one Californian army put it, V isn't trying to be loved. That's why we can't stop loving him. So, while he starts off this list, make no mistake. Taehyung's personality is not forgettable. It's enigmatic, a slow burn, a puzzle made of poetry and jazz records. And for those willing to dive in, it's an ocean with no bottom. Number 6. Genius in disguise, Suga. He barely talks. He rarely smiles in group photos. He looks like he just woke up from a nap he didn't want to take. And yet, somehow, Minyoongi Suga is one of the most real, relatable, and respected members among American BTS fans. But how does a quiet, often grumpy-looking rapper from Daegu become an emotional favorite in a country obsessed with big energy and extroverted charm? Here's the plot twist. Suga is exactly what American fans didn't know they needed until he spoke. Not loudly, not frequently, but honestly. In the US, authenticity is gold. The entire concept of keeping it real isn't just a phrase, it's a cultural value, and no one in BTS embodies that more than Suga. Whether he's calling out the unrealistic expectations placed on idols, discussing mental health in a culture that often silences it, or simply being the first to say, "I don't feel like doing this today." Yoongi resonates with American fans because he refuses to pretend. Scroll through any American Army space, Tumblr threads, YouTube comments, Reddit rants, and you'll find something fascinating. Suga has become a kind of emotional safe space. Fans talk about how his openness about depression, anxiety, and burnout help them confront their own demons. They admire how he balances introversion with leadership, how he doesn't chase attention, but commands respect the moment he opens his mouth. Remember his interview with Rolling Stone? When he flat out said he didn't want to sugarcoat mental health, and that he hoped people would get treatment if they needed it. That moment didn't just resonate, it echoed. American fans clipped it, subtitled it, shared it on TikTok with captions like, "This saved my life," or "He gets it in ways others don't." Then there's the duality. 1 second, he's roasting the Macnays with savage deadpan sass, and the next, he's producing the most soul-wrenching piano ballads you've ever heard in your life. Whether it's First Love, The Last, or Amygdala, Suga's music isn't just sound, it's therapy. It's the voice in your head when you can't articulate how you feel. And that's where he really wins with American fans. Also, let's not forget his alter ego, August D. For a fanbase raised on hip-hop, punk, and emotional rebellion, August D was a revelation. He wasn't afraid to rage, to curse, to challenge his own fame. That rawness, that anger wrapped in intellect, made him feel like a character out of an Oscar-winning drama. Wounded, brilliant, and realer than real. Even his sense of humor is golden. It's dry, understated, and completely lethal. American fans have fallen in love with the way he delivers savage lines, like he's reading a grocery list. The way he says things like, "I'm a genius, but I don't want to work," or "I hope everyone fails today," but then stays up all night producing albums for BTS and other artists. That ironic contrast, it's chef's kiss. Still, why does he rank at number 6? It's not because fans love him any less. It's just that his energy is still a bit niche for the broader American personality scale. He's not the one fans immediately scream over in chaotic variety shows. He's not the one jumping into V-Live with bunny filters. He's the one watching, thinking, processing. And that makes him resonate deeply with a certain kind of American fan, especially introverts, creatives, and those who've been through the storm. As one Chicago Army put it, Yoongi doesn't show off. He doesn't need to. His personality isn't about fireworks, it's about fire within. So while he sits at number 6 in this list, in the hearts of many American fans, he's number 1 in realness. A quiet, revolutionary, a lyrical genius. A soft-spoken force of nature hiding behind a sleepy smile and a black bucket hat. Number 5. Pure sunshine. J-Hope. If personalities could be bottled and sold as happiness boosters, Jungkook, better known as J-Hope, would be the most expensive item on the shelf, sold out in every store across America. Ask any US Army who brings the brightest energy to BTS. And before you can even finish the question, they'll scream, "Hobie." And it's not just hype. American fans see J-Hope as the kind of person you want as your best friend, your life coach, your hype man, your everything. But why does he land at number 5 on this list instead of higher? Well, let's break it down. First off, J-Hope's energy is absolutely magnetic. He walks into a room, and suddenly it feels like someone turned all the lights on. His laugh, contagious. His dance, legendary. His optimism, relentless. To a lot of Americans, especially those raised in a culture where positivity is seen as strength, Hobie represents emotional resilience. He's the one keeping the group smiling during long tours. He's the one cracking jokes when everyone's tired. He's the guy who can lift the entire fandom's mood with a 2-second TikTok dance or a goofy face on Instagram Live. But here's where it gets real. Behind that sunshine is someone incredibly thoughtful and emotionally complex, and that's what American fans truly connect with. Because it's easy to be fun. It's hard to be genuinely kind, genuinely present, genuinely selfless in an industry that constantly demands more than you can give. J-Hope does all of that and more, with a humility that never feels performative. Let's not forget the Jack-in-the-Box era. That moment shifted everything. Suddenly, fans saw a different side of Hobie, the one who wrestles with fear, self-doubt, the pressure of legacy. In the US, where reinvention is a cultural obsession, hello, Beyoncé, Lady Gaga, Tyler the Creator. This artistic pivot wasn't just impressive, it was necessary. It proved that Hobie wasn't just the group's ray of light, he was the storm, too. And fans loved him more for it. Jack in the Box hit differently for American armies. The visuals, the grittiness, the vulnerability. It reminded people that Hobie chose joy not because he doesn't feel pain, but because he's strong enough to carry both. That duality? It's powerful. And it made fans look at his smiles with new depth. And then there's his manners. J-Hope's respect for everyone he meets, staff, fans, media, is legendary. In a culture like America's, where kindness often takes a backseat to clout, J-Hope's genuine decency stands out like neon in the dark. Countless US fans have shared stories about crying during his live streams, not because he said anything dramatic, but because he radiates a kind of love that feels safe, comforting, healing. So why is he number 5? Honestly, it's tough. This list isn't about who's best. It's about how fans relate. And for some American armies, J-Hope's ultra-high energy can feel a little too perfect at first. It takes time to peel back the layers and realize there's a man underneath that glow who chose to be light in a dark world. Once you see that, it's impossible not to fall for him. As one fan from Portland put it, Hobie is the reason I smile when I don't feel like it. He doesn't just perform joy, he embodies it. So here he stands at number 5, pure sunshine with a shadowed past. Glowing not because life is easy, but because he made himself a light that can never be put out. Number 4, gentleman warrior, Jin. He calls himself worldwide handsome, with the straightest face you've ever seen. He tells dad jokes that make entire stadiums groan and laugh at the same time. He acts like the chaotic elder sibling you didn't know you needed. But if you ask many American fans who the heart of BTS is the one who surprises them the most, grows on them the longest, and leaves the deepest emotional mark, many will say, without hesitation, Jin. Why? Because Jin is the definition of a gentleman warrior. He's the one who hides his burdens behind a smile so bright you'd never know he was hurting. And in a culture like America's, where vulnerability and mental strength are constantly battling for space, Jin has become an unexpected emotional anchor. Let's rewind. When BTS first hit the US mainstream, Jin wasn't the first member that grabbed headlines. He wasn't the rapper dropping bars about mental health. He wasn't the dance prodigy or the golden maknae. He was the handsome one, the visual. And for a while, that label stuck. Until fans started paying attention. Really paying attention. Suddenly, things shifted. People began noticing the way Jin took care of the younger members, even when no one was watching. The way he gave up his lines in songs so others could shine. The way he shielded members from tough questions during American interviews. The way he never made it about himself, yet somehow became unforgettable in every group dynamic. American fans started calling him the backbone, the secret glue, the hyung who holds the line when no one else is looking. And once the layers were peeled back, people found something shocking beneath the dad jokes and eat Jin mukbangs. A man with incredible emotional intelligence, quiet strength, and a deep, philosophical heart. Remember when he spoke during the United Nations address? He didn't try to sound smart. He sounded real. I'm Jin Seokjin of BTS, he said, smiling, and I'm also an ordinary young man from Korea. That humility, that grounding. In an American landscape filled with influencers chasing fame for the sake of clout, Jin felt like a refreshing anomaly, a global superstar who still sees himself as a regular guy, trying his best. Then there's the military enlistment. When Jin was the first member to enlist, he didn't cry on live stream. He didn't ask for sympathy. He cut his hair, smiled, and told Army he'd be back soon like he was heading off to college instead of mandatory service. That quiet bravery? American fans were shook. They made edits. They cried. They respected him, deeply. And let's not forget the subtle moments that American fans cling to like sacred memories. Jin cooking for the members after a long day. Jin holding Jungkook's hand backstage when he looked nervous. Jin hugging Jimin after a difficult performance. Jin smiling through exhaustion because he didn't want to bring the group's mood down. He is that guy, the emotional caretaker, the wall of calm when everything feels chaotic. Still, some fans slept on him at first. Why? Because in a media landscape that often rewards loudness, Jin's brilliance is subtle. He's not the one vying for the spotlight, but he's always the one keeping the light on for everyone else. And slowly, beautifully, American fans realized that. A Boston Army once said, "Jin is the kind of man you grow into loving. He's not just worldwide handsome, he's worldwide healing." That's why he's number 4. Not because he isn't chaotic, he is, let's not forget the flying water bottles and savage comebacks, but because he carries himself with an old-school grace that American fans compare to the golden age of Hollywood stars. Charming, witty, emotionally layered, and deeply human, Jin is the gentleman who hides swords behind silk. The warrior who fights with laughter. The hyung who never asks for credit but deserves all of it. And that, dear viewers, is why his personality doesn't just earn love, it builds it over time, brick by brick, moment by moment. Number 3, Golden Soul, Jungkook. He's the youngest, the most followed, the viral king who can break the internet with a single eyebrow raise. But what American fans love most about Jungkook isn't just the abs, the tattoos, or the stage presence that could rival any global pop legend. It's something much deeper, something that grows on you the more you watch him. Something American armies have dubbed over and over again, the most genuine soul in the game. So why Golden Soul? Because behind the golden maknae title, behind the flawless vocals, the fluid dance moves, and the perfect visuals, is a young man who's still figuring himself out and doing it in public, with the kind of vulnerability that American fans absolutely live for. Let's get this straight. In US culture, authenticity is everything. Fans aren't just looking for polished idols, they want people who make mistakes, grow, cry, stumble, and own it. Jungkook delivers all of that and more. He's the ultimate human paradox. Shy but powerful, innocent yet edgy, disciplined but chaotic. He's the kid who wanted to be invisible when he debuted, and now stands at the center of the biggest boy band in history. And fans? They've watched every step of that transformation. When Jungkook opens up in interviews, really opens up, it's never for show. It's raw, it's honest. It's filled with that nervous laugh, that soft eye contact, that moment where he looks down as if the words are too big for his chest. And that's exactly why American fans feel protective over him. He's the kind of celebrity who makes you want to scream at the world. Be nice to him, he's still learning. Let him breathe. Then there's the music. Whether it's his haunting cover of Nothing Like Us by Justin Bieber, or his solo tracks like My Time and Still With You, Jungkook doesn't just sing, he bleeds. He brings emotions that aren't wrapped in metaphors. He tells you exactly what it feels like to grow up too fast, to be famous before you're ready, to miss a life you never got to live. And that message? It resonates. Especially with American fans, many of whom also grew up with social media, isolation, and the pressure to be perfect in a world that demands performance over personhood. Let's talk live streams. Who else but Jungkook would go live for hours just to hang out, drink wine, sing karaoke, and laugh like he forgot the camera was even on? That one broadcast where he kept saying, "I just missed you guys," while covering Troye Sivan's songs? American armies still talk about it like it was a national holiday. He wasn't trying to go viral. He wasn't chasing trends. He was just being. And that's the kind of connection fans crave. And, when it comes to work ethic, Jungkook's hunger is unmatched. He trains like an athlete. He treats every performance like it's his first. American fans have compared him to icons like Michael Jackson, Justin Timberlake, and even Prince, not because he copies them, but because he studies them. He learns, he evolves, and every evolution feels like watching a phoenix rise in real time. But what really seals the deal for US fans is his loyalty. His bond with the other members, especially Jimin and Taehyung, is the stuff of fan fiction and documentaries. He teases like a bratty little brother, but when one of them is hurting, he's the first to notice. He's the first to react. He cares deeply, even if he doesn't always have the words. So why is Jungkook number 3? Because his personality is a perfect storm of everything American fans value: vulnerability, work ethic, independence, and authenticity. He doesn't try to be relatable, he is. He doesn't fake depth, he feels. He's not afraid to cry, to ask for help, or to admit when he's lost. And in a world that often demands confidence at the cost of honesty, Jungkook gives fans both. As one New York Army put it, "He makes me want to become a better version of myself, just by watching him grow into his." Jungkook isn't just the golden maknae. He's the mirror that shows fans their own potential, their fears, their resilience. He's not perfect, and that's what makes him so profoundly powerful. Number 2, Angel in Motion, Jimin. You've heard the stories. The way his voice quivers like silk dipped in sunlight. The way he dances like every movement carries the weight of 1,000 unspoken emotions. The way he looks at the audience not like a star, but like a friend who's checking to make sure you're okay. For American fans, Park Jimin is not just a member of BTS. He's an experience, an emotion, a living poem dressed in Dior. And that's why he ranks so high. To understand Jimin's impact on US fans, you have to understand what he represents. In a culture where people are constantly encouraged to toughen up, to keep it cool, Jimin is the rare male idol who embraces softness as a form of strength. He's not afraid to cry, not afraid to hug, not afraid to tell his members and his fans that he loves them. Out loud, in front of cameras, over and over again. That level of emotional openness is radical for American fans, because here, boys are often raised to believe that vulnerability is weakness. Jimin shatters that myth. With every teardrop on stage, every trembling note in Promise, every whispered "I miss you" on live streams, he gives fans permission to feel, and for many, that's life-changing. Let's talk about those legendary performances. Lie, Serendipity, Filter. They weren't just stages, they were exorcisms of emotion. Jimin doesn't just move to the music, he becomes it. American fans, especially those with backgrounds in dance and theater, revere him like a spiritual force. They analyze his hand flicks, they slow down his shoulder rolls, they study his breathing patterns like scholars. Because with Jimin, every detail matters. Every second is intentional, every glance has weight. But Jimin isn't just elegance and stage presence, he's also chaos in a glittery jacket. The duality is unreal, and that's where American fans fall even deeper. He'll be seducing the world with a slow-motion spin, then immediately trip over his own feet and laugh like an anime character. He's both the most graceful and the most clumsy member, and that contradiction, absolutely magnetic. Then there's the way he cares, about everyone, the way he listens to his members with his whole body, the way he rushes to comfort anyone who looks remotely upset, the way he thanks fans after every show like it's the first and last time he'll ever see them. In fan meet stories from the US, time and time again, people say the same thing: he made me feel seen, not just smiled at, seen, as if, for those few seconds, nothing else in the world existed but that connection. And when it comes to loyalty, Jimin is the emotional glue of BTS. He's the first to cheer, the first to cry, the first to apologize, even when he doesn't need to. American fans have called him the beating heart of the group, and not without reason. His devotion to BTS isn't just admirable, it's spiritual. He treats the members like family, and ARMY like home. So why isn't he number one? It's barely a gap. In fact, many fans argue that Jimin should top this list. But the member who just slightly edged him out did so not because of charisma, or kindness, or stage power, all of which Jimin has in abundance, but because of something else entirely, something we'll get to in a second. Still, in the hearts of American fans, Jimin is a safe place. He's the one they go to when they feel too much, when they want to believe in gentleness again, when they need to be reminded that kindness is not a weakness, it's a superpower. As one Los Angeles ARMY put it, Jimin is what happens when an angel decides to stay human for a while. Number 1. Leader of Hearts, RM. And here we are, the top of the list. The one American fans didn't just like, but respected, trusted, and in many cases, felt deeply inspired by. Kim Namjoon, known globally as RM, isn't just the leader of BTS. To many fans in the United States, he's a philosopher in sneakers. A gentle giant who carries the weight of 7 stars on his back, and somehow still walks with grace, intellect, and astonishing humility. So why RM? Why number 1? Because in a world increasingly starved for sincerity and emotional intelligence, Namjoon feels like the last real voice in the room. He doesn't shout to be heard, he pauses to listen. He doesn't need to be the loudest, he chooses to be the clearest. And in America, where leadership is often mistaken for domination, RM redefined it entirely. He showed that being a leader isn't about controlling others, it's about uplifting them. Let's talk first impressions. When BTS first came to the US, RM was the one doing the interviews, translating on the fly, cracking nervous jokes in English, and bridging cultures with nothing but wit, wisdom, and a whole lot of courage. For many American armies, Namjoon was the gateway. He made BTS feel accessible, human, not just a group of talented Korean men, but individuals with thoughts, fears, dreams, and a desire to connect. And connect, he did. American fans love RM, not because he's perfect, but because he questions everything. He speaks about identity, loneliness, art, the anxiety of fame, the pressure to lead, and the need to love oneself, not as slogans, but as ongoing struggles. His speech at the UN about speaking yourself, that wasn't a soundbite. It was a turning point. Teachers played it in classrooms. Parents shared it with kids. It made headlines not just in K-pop forums, but on global news. Why? Because RM wasn't performing hope, he was living through it, just like the rest of us. His solo work, Mono, Indigo, resonated deeply in the US. It sounded like someone walking through a forest with their heart in their hands. Fans compared it to Frank Ocean, Bon Iver, even Bob Dylan. Songs like Everything Else, Soul, and Wildflower weren't made to go viral. They were made to sit with you on nights when the world feels too loud and your own mind too quiet. He's the kind of artist who doesn't ask for attention, he deserves it. Let's also talk about how American fans see themselves in Namjoon. In a country obsessed with individualism, he represents a rare balance, a man who leads not for ego, but for empathy. He constantly steps back so others can shine. He corrects himself in public. He apologizes without shame. He reads, hikes, goes to museums, takes Polaroids of cloudy skies, and reminds fans it's okay to be still. That kind of masculinity, gentle, introspective, thoughtful, is radical. And in the chaos of celebrity culture, RM is the eye of the storm. He's also hilarious, by the way. That dry humor, that unexpected clumsiness. The memes, oh, the memes. American fans love God of Destruction moments. The way he breaks things with a blank stare. The time he forgot his passport again. The fact that he once led the group confidently into the wrong airport terminal. He's book smart, sure, but he's also relatable, and that makes the love deeper. Namjoon is the kind of person fans want to be. Not just admire from afar. He makes you want to read more, reflect more, say sorry more, speak kindly more. He makes you want to grow and accept the parts of you that are still growing. That's why he's number one. As one American ARMY wrote in a forum thread that went viral, I came to BTS for the music. I stayed for Namjoon. His mind, his heart, his honesty, it changed how I see myself. He's not just a leader, he's a lighthouse. So here's to RM, the leader of hearts, the philosopher with a mic, the quiet, revolutionary. The reason many American fans didn't just fall in love with BTS, but found themselves along the way. And that, dear viewer, wraps up our journey. From mystery to fire, from softness to leadership, BTS continues to prove that personality is more than just charm, it's about how you make people feel. And across the vast, opinionated, emotionally complex landscape of American fandom, these 7 men have touched souls in 7 very different, very unforgettable ways.